we will never truly be comfortable with ourselves. And I think this is the truth no matter where you are in your life. Whether you've achieved a lot or you've achieved very little, or you just simply think about the achievements of others, whatever level you're at in your life, I think the voice inside your head telling you that you're never truly enough is a voice that we all have to listen to because this is what drives us to be better. So, why should we listen to this voice that's constantly nagging us, telling us that, oh, we should eat healthier, oh, we should go out and do exercise, oh, we should, find the time to make improvements in our life when we already feel pretty comfortable? Why should we entertain this voice in our head that we think are the projected thoughts of the people around us? Why should we listen to what it has to say about us? If we never listen to it, then we would always feel comfortable with who we are. We would always feel comfortable with our place in society. We would always feel comfortable with the way we feel about ourselves. But for anybody who is successful or is striving to be successful, they understand that it all starts with changing the way you think. And it all starts with listening to that voice in a constructive way. I think the first thing that we naturally assess or we naturally go to when we consider ourselves and how uncomfortable we feel about ourselves is our body. Because nowadays, with the propaganda and whatever society wants you to believe, it's not okay for people to body shame you. It's not okay for somebody to tell you, oh, you don't look a certain way, you don't look normal way, you should try to make improvements to yourself if it's not coming from yourself. Nobody has a say in telling you how you're supposed to look unless you want to make that change for yourself. So the first thing to consider is, how do we feel about ourselves in terms of our body? More specifically, about whether you believe that you are a little bit overweight or underweight, or underdeveloped, or I'm just going to put it fat, comparatively to somebody else that's similar to you in age, height, and other features. Anybody who's made massive gains in terms of their body, their health, their muscle, physique, will tell you that they're never at the place where they want to be, because they know that if they listen to the voice in their head that tells them that they're never at this place, that they're going to strive harder, they're going to try harder. They're going to try new ways and different ways to try to build up that momentum, keep that momentum going. And the fact is that it has never been easier to make improvements to your bodily health as it is now. Why do I say this? Because we have so many things. We have so many videos. We have so many inputs in our mind every day about how we can change our lifestyle, how we can make it healthier, how we can get a better physique. These things just naturally are coming to us through shorts, through TikTok, through YouTube videos. We see this every day. So it's already hitting us, but we have yet to take advantage of this. There are people with bodies that we want, but we refrain from listening to them. We refrain from hearing what they have to say to make our life better, to improve our life. So this is really the difference between thinking about making physical changes versus taking action. And anybody who's ever had a body that they were proud of knows that taking action is massively important. And so the first thing for us to get comfortable with is being able to take action when it is necessary to improve our life. I think the next thing that we can never really be fully comfortable with is how much we earn. How much we earn in terms of our job, how much we earn on the side, how much we earn in terms of our interests, how much value that we add to ourselves by being part of this greater society. And I think it's a very relevant point because if you're not uncomfortable with the amount that you earn from, let's say, a company or your employer, then you never question the idea of making more money. I think people always consider making more money as the optimal choice in their life. But to do it, we have to actually actively think about how we can earn this money and think about what in ourselves is not allowing us to earn more money. I know I can say that I don't earn as much as I would like to, but I also think about it as more of a long-term investment. It's an investment into yourself, an investment to spend time learning new skills by yourself in terms of heightening your status in the future, being able to conquer greater heights and reach higher levels in terms of employability or in terms of salary. And that takes time. And so without time, I wouldn't consider it, a viable possibility for you to just make a lot of money all at once, even though a lot of people think they could do that through YouTube or TikTok or whatever these days. But it takes time, and it's a long-term investment in yourself for you to make, follow through on the changes you want to make in life. And eventually you'll get to a point where you feel more comfortable in yourself, but not totally comfortable in what you can achieve. I think the next thing that I really sometimes feel uncomfortable about myself is just how much I know as a person, how much information I personally know, and why I couldn't know more information. Why couldn't I know all the information if I wanted to? Because you know what they say, information is power. Knowledge is valued much more than anything else that we could have on this planet. So why don't I know everything? Why don't I have all the answers? Considering our everyday experience, I think that knowledge or information can be divided into what we perceive versus what we can read or find out from a book or a resource or a website. And so how much time should we spend on both of these things every day? I think this is a valid question. How much should we be experiencing in our daily life just through our five senses versus how much should we be reading into books and reading into resources about information that other people have already found out scientifically through research, and how they explain the world through their own words. In our information-driven society, I think there's two statements that you could make about knowledge and learning and having all the information, which is, the first one is that we can't have all the information. I believe that the moment a new piece of information gets stored into our mind, unless it connects with another piece of information in some way or shape or form, then another piece of information is forgotten, is lost. I think that our mind can only expand up to a certain amount unless we practice, mindfulness or awareness, meditation, however you want to think about it. I think those practices can help us expand our understanding. But overall, our mind is only so large and can fit so much information inside. The second point I want to make is that Our learning time to learn some things could be made much shorter just by knowing the right person. And by this, I mean, think about before we had all this technology, knowing people and getting to know different people was a very difficult task. Unless we knew somebody who knew somebody or that knew another person, getting connected to another person proved to be a task in itself. But now people are just sharing who they are through the internet, and who they are could be important to you in some ways because they have a lesson that they can teach you. They have something that they could teach you about that you don't have the knowledge to, through the work that you already do, through the avenues that you already have to you. So, having another person teach you a skill or an idea can literally half the time it takes to learn it just by yourself. So, just having the resources through people, teaching people, someone teaching you through the internet, makes the whole process so much easier. The last reason I think that we will never truly be comfortable with ourselves or who we are is a valid one. I think it's about considering how much do people like us, especially how much do the people directly within our circles like us, find us attractive as a person through what we can share and our expressions, and to some extent just who we are as a person. How could we get people to like us? And I think this is valid because humans are social creatures. We're social beings, and without each other, then our life kind of loses meaning. I think this point of how we want other people to like us so much for who we are and how we can be ourselves is valid because I think it also directly correlates to how much do we like ourselves. Depending on how much love we put into ourselves or how much effort we put into how we look or how we want to get across or what we know or what skills we have, I think people will naturally fall into place in our life depending on how much respect we put into ourselves and how much effort we strive for every day. I could easily say big YouTubers and big influencers have affected the lives of millions of people, and millions of people like them and follow them and subscribe to them because they have built up this confidence in themselves by building a skill, which is to be able to effectively communicate with a lot of people or just a one-to-one relationship. They have been able to hone their skills in this kind of experience because they've made so many videos, and they've made videos of them talking into a camera just like this. And they were able to, put on their best self, put on not a mask for everyone to see, but just realize who they are and not be afraid to share that with other people, and especially people that they don't know, because those people might be able to empathize with who they are a little bit more. So as long as you treat yourself as the way you want others to treat you and treat others the way that you would treat yourself, the golden rule of relationships, then I think that the way people will think about you in terms of whether they like you or not will be not something you consider on a daily basis anymore. As long as you love yourself and try to develop yourself, I don't think you'll have any problems with attracting good people who care about you into your life. So these are just a couple of reasons I've considered myself about why I'll never be comfortable in my own skin, and why I think ultimately it's a good and positive thing, because it drives us and motivates us to climb up to higher levels in our life, to level up and to become a better person that we want to be for ourselves and for the people around us and for our families and everything that we want to improve in our life. So if you found this video useful and if you found this video motivating in any way, I'd really appreciate if you checked out one of my other videos, if you like this video, and you subscribe to my channel. So I'll see you in the next one.